What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today should be a very big day for stimulus. Later on today, President Biden is supposed to be revealing his economic relief plan. This should be big. We should get details on everything that was in his $1.9 trillion stimulus package. Hopefully, we will actually see a written bill, some text of this bill or proposal very soon. Whether it's in a PDF, it's in a spreadsheet, who cares? We just want to see what is going to be in it so that the American people know what they could potentially be expecting. But first, I want to address what happened yesterday. These are a couple big things that could potentially impact you. So first, President Biden signed multiple executive orders. This time, they were for student loan forbearance and for the federal eviction moratorium. The federal student loan payments and interest have now been extended, so it will all be deferred through September 30th. Also, the federal eviction moratorium has been extended until March 31st. Remember, this was going to expire on January 31st. We're a little over a week away from that. So, this is going to be extended another couple months. So that is good. Both of these were seen as critical pieces of the stimulus package. But right now, being that the stimulus package probably will not be approved until maybe the end of February, possibly even going into March, that is one of the reasons why President Biden wanted to do this. Remember, March 14th is when the unemployment benefits technically end. Also, on March 26th, this is when Congress goes on recess for 2 business weeks. So, there will be nothing really done during that time. So, for the time being, we have to do a lot of reading between the lines to try to get answers onto what is going to be included in that $1.9 trillion stimulus package. However, until this gets passed, it's all just speculation. Right now, even though President Biden is supposed to come out later on today and reveal this recovery plan of his, that's going to have a lot of stimulus. We're going to talk about probably vaccines, how he plans to open up the economy, dealing with schools, businesses, families, nutrition, all this stuff, state and local governments. There's going to be a lot that's going to be included in here. However, right now what we know is very little, simply because there's been no details. We see bullet points, and in the end of this video, I'm going to get to that, explain what is going to be in this, and kind of what we expect to see. So make sure you stick around for that. Now, according to the White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, she says this $1.9 trillion stimulus package is not a starting point. This is the package that Democrats want to pass, or they will pass. Remember, Democrats are trying to get Republicans on board. So hopefully Republicans get on board, because if not, Democrats say they will push this through with a 51 vote majority. So at this point, it doesn't sound like Democrats are even willing to negotiate with Republicans. They say they want to negotiate and get their input. But when they say this and then their press secretary comes out and says, this is not a starting point, this is not negotiable, this is what we are going to pass. We wrote this, not so we can pick and choose pieces, but we wrote this bill in a way that this is the bill that's going to pass. So, it doesn't seem like we're going to get much bipartisan support on this. However, it still could happen. We still could see some movement from the Republican side, but that means there has to be compromise from the Democratic side. And right now, it just does not seem likely, especially when the House, Senate, and the presidency are all controlled by Democrats. So, we will see what happens. What I do want to address is that right now, many Democrats are saying that they are looking for bipartisan support. Okay, many have come out and publicly stated, we want to see bipartisan support. However, their actions technically speak louder than words. Right now, Joe Biden wants to show unity. He wants to show the American people that Congress can work together. That is one of the reasons why passing a bipartisan stimulus package is so important to him at this point. So, We will attempt that first. That's what they're currently saying. We will attempt that first. We will reach bipartisan support where we can. This is exactly what Mitch McConnell was told by Chuck Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi said this exact same thing. We will reach bipartisan support where we can. Again, that is key, where we can. Now, at the same time, Republicans are saying that we do not need an additional stimulus package when the ink on the $900 billion stimulus package has not even dried. So why are we trying to pass an additional almost $2 trillion package when we just passed a roughly $1 trillion package not even 1 month ago? They also say we need to wait and see how the last package provides for the country first. If we wait and see how that impacted the country, different industries, different people, then they will be better equipped to respond where needed. This is what a few Democrats have said as well, is if we wait and put a pause, we just need to put a pause on things and then reevaluate where the money will be best spent, then we could see how we could actually improve this economy a little bit quicker. So it's not just Republicans that are saying that. Democrats are also saying that exact same thing. Now, as you can imagine, most Republicans are not supportive of another stimulus package, especially not one of this size. With roughly $1.9 trillion in additional spending, almost all Republicans currently oppose this. Now, I want to just refresh your memory on what is included in this $1.9 trillion stimulus package, simply because when President Biden comes out later on today and starts to outline and give details and reveal his economic relief plan, I want to make sure that you're caught up. You understand what is currently in it, what has been proposed, because there could be things that ultimately get pulled out that he doesn't reference later on today. If this is the case, there has to be a reason why. Is he going to try to do an executive order to answer and address some of these questions? Or is there something else currently in the works? So let's get into it. First, we have the $1,400 stimulus check amendment. Technically, it's a $2,000 stimulus check amendment. Some are saying that this is not going to be an amendment. This will simply be a $1,400 stimulus check. Some Republicans are on board with a $1,400 stimulus check. They are not on board with the $2,000 stimulus check amendment because they are saying it would provide too much money to those that do earn high six-figure incomes. Now, again, this $1,400 would go along with the $600, which would equal $2,000. That's currently where they're getting it. The income threshold at this time is still said to be the same. As for retroactive payments, this is a big one. As for retroactive payments for adult dependents, some are saying that it is possible. So what this means, if it's a $1,400 stimulus check, then it will most likely be $1,400 for a filer, $1,400 for their spouse, $1,400 for a child, and $1,400 for an adult dependent. Here's the issue. If it's a $2,000 stimulus check amendment, and it also includes adult dependents, this means there will be a retroactive $600. As far as retroactive all the way back to the CARES Act, that is highly unlikely. So what we could see is adult dependents get up to $2,000, and any other dependent and any other filer or spouse gets an additional $1,400. So that's what we hopefully will have answers on later on today. But again, we will have to watch and find out together. But this is also one of the reasons why I highly recommend you subscribe to this channel so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. Now, there's also going to be expanded unemployment benefits. It's not just expanded in the time, it's expanded in the amount as well. Currently, it is said that the PUA and the PEUC programs will all be extended with this proposal all the way till September 30th. Most of these provisions expire on September 30th. That is when the government, their fiscal year ends. So that's they're trying to coincide the whole thing with that. So the expanded unemployment benefits would be $400 per week. This would start March 14th and run till September 30th. What we know, this is an additional 28 weeks. The final week would actually end on September 26th, I believe, not the 30th. So again, it's just 28 full weeks. And again, there's most likely no retroactive payments. You're probably wondering, well, where would retroactive payments come in? Here's what is currently being discussed. That retroactive payments, that additional $100, which takes, because right now it's a $300 unemployment boost per week from December 27th all the way till March 14th. That's $300 per week. Well, retroactive payments could actually come in where instead of $300, you get that additional $100. Okay? So it's a $300, then you get the additional $100 all the way back until December 27th, and then the $400 kicks in on March 14th. That is where the retroactive payments are currently being discussed. Now again, I doubt there's going to be any retroactive payments. However, it is quite possible. As far as rental assistance, there is $30 billion in the next stimulus package that would go to rental assistance. That would boost it from $25 billion all the way up to $55 billion with that additional 30. Now, this would also extend the federal eviction moratorium until September 30th. As of right now, like I said earlier, that the federal eviction moratorium has been extended until March 31st. So this would extend it a little bit further. This provision also allows for federally guaranteed mortgages to apply for forbearance until September 30th as well. So if you're a homeowner, you're currently struggling, you could apply for mortgage forbearance, which means you do not have to make a mortgage payment until possibly 4 months or 3 months, and I think you can go in 3-month increments all the way up to 1 full year. So this would provide an additional mortgage forbearance as well. As far as nutrition assistance, we are going to see a 15% increase to SNAP benefits until September 30th as well. This would also include helping laid off restaurant workers to find new jobs in some capacity. So hopefully we'll get more details here. There will also be a tax credit increase, and there's actually 3 different tax credit increases here. First, we have the tax credit for children, the child tax credit, if your child is from 0, newborn, to 5 years old, anywhere into 5. They would receive a $3,600 stimulus check. Okay, not really stimulus check, more of a tax credit, which would essentially seem like a stimulus on your taxes, and this would most likely not occur for the 2020 tax season. It would most likely be the 2021, which means when you file in 2022, this would most likely be included. There will also be children from 6 to 17 will get $3,000, and the earned income credit goes from $500 to over 3 times to over $1,500. So that is another big one. Those are some big tax credits right there, and that is one of the things that some Republicans are opposed, but that is something that they would pretty much just accept if a couple other provisions in this package, which I'll get to in a second, are actually excluded. We also know there's going to be a provision to restore emergency paid leave, to subsidize health insurance premiums through September for those that lost their work-based health insurance. Also, about $15 billion in new grant money for small business assistance, $350 billion for state and local governments. This is a big one. This is what currently Republicans highly oppose, simply because they are saying that this provides poorly run blue states with a bailout. This allows them to fully fund their pension programs when we do not need to spend hardworking Americans' taxpayer dollars to fund pension programs, especially in states like California and New York. Those are currently the 2 big ones. We also know there's $20 billion to create community vaccination centers. This is something that right now, the executive order that President Biden did the other day, where he signed a thing saying that the National Guard, all their services can be fully paid for by the U.S. government. What we know is that, okay, the National Guard can be fully paid for, their services can be, so they can come and help set up a vaccination site. However, the materials, the booths, the covers, those things, the actual facility, that is not fully paid for by the National Guard. That still has to have some funding. So $20 billion for that could really benefit us. Also, $50 billion for COVID testing. They want to fund the hiring of roughly 100,000 public health workers. And then the other big one is a $15 per hour federal minimum wage. This is another big hurdle that Republicans currently oppose, simply because they say by providing a $15 per hour federal minimum wage and then at the exact same time trying to provide for small businesses that are currently struggling because their payroll, their expense, everything currently exceeds or is very close to their revenue. So if that's the case, a lot of these businesses will simply go under. And if we double their income, or double their payroll, because currently the federal minimum wage is $7.25. So by essentially doubling that to 15, that's going to make it almost impossible for many small businesses, specifically in the South, to actually stay open. So this is what is included in this stimulus package. But again, we're supposed to get some information on this proposal or on this idea or plan. I don't really know what we can call it because it hasn't even really been written down. We don't even have note cards. We don't even have a slideshow. We have nothing. So hopefully today we will actually have that. So again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, any breaking news, any new updates regarding stimulus. Again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.